Hello, and welcome to another episode of Mindset, Money, Success. And I'm your host, Loraine Marshall. And today I want to talk about how I fought to escape post-separation abuse, but the system did not help me. So I am going to go over how that happened and talk about the situation that I've experienced over 4 years now, post-separation litigations, which started in October of 2020. And part of it is ended in October 2024. So I'll just jump into the story that I'm going to tell you today. So the system didn't really help me. The guy I shared my life with ended our relationship after 11 years and turned into an evil monster. He wanted to see me homeless or in prison. The good news is that the criminal court case he took against me was dismissed. I received the news a few weeks ago at the end of October 2024. Meanwhile, I have continued to fight for my human rights. The case of precarious eviction was suspended in March 2024, and then it was resumed. I was notified on the 7th of October that the date was set for the 19th of December 2024. So the news was bittersweet. September 2020. He was in control. I had to do as he said, or he could throw me out onto the streets. Just days after he had terminated our relationship, he had offered me 50% of the value of the house that he had told me was our first home together. I trusted him. I never thought for 1 minute that he would betray me repeatedly. Our solicitor in Spain had apparently advised him, put her bags on the doorstep. He told the criminal court judge in his testimony, I wished I had done that now. I read these sentences in his testimony 4 years later in the criminal case that he brought against me. The 7 criminal allegations that his Barcelona lawyer had helped him with: revealing secrets, defamation, slander, harassment, misappropriation, theft, and damages. I will leave a link to the SLAPP or litigation abuse if you want to discover more about how abusers use defamation as a way to silence their victims. His solicitor had requested maximum penalties for each allegation, which added up to 17 years of prison. All because I dared to tell the truth in the book I published in May 2022. It wasn't strangers that hurt me most. It was those I trusted. It was family that I loved and cared for. Let's talk about boundaries. I cut my family off. I left a life in the UK for a life in Spain in 2016. Something I'd always dreamed of since my 30s. I thought I was going to be financially secure. I sold out of my UK property management business and started working on ways to gain an independent income here in Spain. Unfortunately, Nothing worked. It was tough. My partner was always what I call negative. His put downs and criticism started in 2014, before the move to Spain. Now, after he terminated our relationship, I was broken and lost. I had no idea who I was anymore or what I wanted to do. All I could do was take one day at a time. I was on a mission of discovery, which is how I describe my social profiles. It took me 4 years to work through everything. I've had visits to psychologists online and in person to help me to get through all of the trauma that I'd experienced. Now I realise that I couldn't protect my boundaries in that relationship. My personality was non-confrontational. I didn't want to upset him. I couldn't assert myself. I was conditioned or groomed into pleasing him. I kept learning and trying to create an independent income during the relationship. I invested in a program and spent a lot of money. Unfortunately, the SEC in the US shut down that program in mid-2018, and I lost my investment, and this made things worse. I ended up in debt. When he confessed to cheating in 2017, that was the year I had told him I was working on that program that I'd invested in. I didn't understand at that time that what he did was emotional devaluation or abuse. Not the cheating, the confession. Because even in a confession, he lied. I believed he had started an affair 4 weeks before. I discovered it wasn't, as the woman he cheated with told me when I reached out to her post-discard. She wrote in her text message that they had met in 2009, the same year I met him. The question is, why did he tell me or confess in 2017 about an extra relationship that he had been carrying on from 2009? Now, if he had told me the truth in 2017, I wouldn't have stayed. That would have been the end. But I asked him if he still wanted me in his life, and he told me he did. He said, "Where do you think I would rather be right now?" I sent him a message. It was the video song from Whitney Houston, "Run to You." It had been playing on the radio over and over in the week that he'd gone back to the UK in January of 2018. And so I sent him that song, and it said in my message, "This is for you, and this is how I want to sing it to you." And he said, "Thanks. It's a very nice song. It's made me cry. But I am not running away. I'm still working for our future in our home. Where do you think I would rather be right now?" And he put the emphasis and the capitalization on the words "our." I was at my lowest point while in Spain during January of 2018. So I worked on forgiveness, and he took advantage of that. Throughout 2018, he didn't end the affair, as he told me he was entitled to see this other woman in the UK. This made it very difficult for me to get over things emotionally. I believe that I was trauma bonded, thinking I still loved him. The man I met at the start of the relationship was loving, kind, caring, and generous. A businessman like I was a businesswoman. I worked through the grief, the trauma, the panic attacks I experienced. He had many angry outbursts throughout 2018, mainly during FaceTime and telephone conversations. Then one day, I made a recording. As I spoke to him on my mobile's loudspeaker, I hit record on my iPad nearby. I had forgotten about that recording until he abandoned me here in Spain. When I listened again, it started to make sense. I made the recording public on YouTube. Money is used as a weapon to beat you with. Criticism and humiliation. He tells me I am trying to make him feel emotionally responsible for my bad decisions. And then he launches into his angry verbal outburst. And all I can do is apologize, thinking I've made him angry. The truth is, this is who he is, an angry man.
Now I've got other people phoning me up. I'm going to have to hold. I'm going to. Oh, for fuck's sake. I've got to get. I'm going to take this other call. Oh, he's gone now. Now look.
No, it wasn't my fault.
No, it wasn't your fault. This is nonsense.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to upset you. I mean...
Yes, you bloody well did.
No, it didn't.
What was it designed to do? It wasn't designed to bloody upset me.
It wasn't designed to upset you. Just think of my position, what I've got here, and then...
I think about your fucking position all the time, Loraine.
Yes. I know, and you're sending mixed messages because that's why I'm confused. Because at some point then you're saying, I can stay here, you're sending us money, I've got all this lovely place and I should be grateful and everything, right? But then I get all the mixed messages, like when you were on the phone and you said something like, I'm throwing nearly £700 a month at you, and I'm like, oh, okay, sorry.
Right, more money than you're getting from anywhere else. Your lovely businesses that you've been developing, what are they producing?
Well, I haven't produced anything, that's why I said it would only...
Don't fucking knock the money that you get. Don't fucking bite the hand that's fucking feeding you.
I'm sorry. I'm
No,
not biting
not
the
fucking
hand.
sorry. You're upset.
No, I'm
You're
not.
upset because you've made some bad decisions.
Yes.
What you're doing is you're now trying to make me feel emotionally responsible for your bad decisions. It's my fault that I've made you dependent on me. It's my fault. You were a strong, powerful, independent woman. So I came along and made you into what you are now.
No,
I made you dependent on me. It's my fault that I've made you dependent on me. Paul's an evil bastard.
I haven't said that.
No, I can hear it in your fucking voice.
No, I haven't said that. When have I said that? I haven't said anything about it.
That's exactly why we shouldn't be having conversations like this, either A, on the phone, or B, on the way to the fucking airport on the way home. You've had plenty of time to have conversations, and then you choose not to.
Yes.
And I need you to help me sort out this fucking wiring. So I've meant you to talk to me. I'm going to hang up now. I'm going to bring right back. Because actually, right now, that's more useful to me than talking to you.
Well, I'm very sorry that you're angry with us.
Can't go anywhere. Because we're off the bloody phone. It can't go anywhere. This kind of conversation can't work on the fucking phone. Why don't you understand that?
Because
Why is it?
Yeah, I couldn't have a conversation, mainly because every time you tried to have a conversation, this was what happened. So, why I was advised to file a complaint of gender violence. A Spanish solicitor told me to file a gender violence complaint against the person who I thought had loved me. I played a recording of a face-to-face meeting where I was intimidated and threatened. I told him about the other things that had happened. I showed him emails he had sent to me. I didn't want to file a complaint, so I asked that solicitor if he could write to our solicitor. He repeated the advice and said, "Did you not hear what he said? You cannot negotiate with him." The meeting was recorded in September 2020. I asked my ex-partner why the 15th of January, the deadline that he had arbitrarily set, was 4 months. His reaction: he violently bangs his hand down on a glass table in front of us. 13 minutes into the meeting, he completely loses it and has an angry outburst. The statement I saw in his testimony to the criminal court judge in 2024, it is not truthful and manifestly inaccurate. Quote, "We had a meeting where I tried to explain to her that she had no legal right to stay in my house." In this clip from that recording from September 2020, I made this public a few weeks ago.
Why the 15th of January?
Give you 4 months.
Why 4 months?
Because I think 4 months is enough. I think 3 months might be difficult because of Christmas coming in the middle of it. So
Exactly. Why not the end of January?
because you can't negotiate with me, Loraine. I just told you why. It's my choice. I'll make it the 15th of fucking November if I want to. Don't fuck about with me. I've told you 4 months. I've told you the 15th of January. You asked me why? I said because of Christmas. Do not push your luck. You understand me? Good. Don't take the piss out of me. You've had one strike already and you are that far away to have your fucking suitcase thrown out the fucking door. So just be careful how you tread. Like I said to you this afternoon, your future security depends on having me on your side, so don't alienate me. I've told you already, you can't negotiate a gift.
And that was how he spoke to me. So what he said to the judge when he said we had a meeting where I tried to explain to her that she had no legal right to stay in my house. That was how he told me. So in my book, that chapter is his way or no way at all. I printed the full transcript of our September meeting. The full recording was 26 minutes long. In 2020, I had no idea who I was anymore. Now, in 2024, I know who I am. I'm a fighter. I'm resourceful. I'm creative. I love to learn new things. I'm a researcher and intuitive, a deep thinker. The truth is important to me. It is the highest form of energy vibration. A humanitarian, I am empowered as well as understanding. But I will not put up with any BS anymore. My book achieved #1 in self-help for abuse on Amazon UK when I relaunched the 2024 updated version during the last few days of October Domestic Violence Awareness Month. The title, Post-Separation Abuse, Betrayal and Abandonment, What Type of Man? I'll leave a link to the new version in the show notes below. And for the US, you can grab a copy from Amazon.com. And it reached number 2 in the same category in the US chart. My healing journey is still ongoing. You can also join me in a no-cost, zero-commitment support community. I created this community for women 40 plus. It's mindset, money, success, including trauma to transformation. And if you want to join that community, I'll leave that in the show notes below. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel, which starts with positive mindset affirmations, and it tells a little bit more about my author journey. If you want to support my recovery, you could buy me a coffee on Ko-fi. I'll leave that link in the show notes as well. So that is my episode for today. Hope you enjoyed listening to this podcast. And as always, I see you on the next podcast. Now, bye for now.